What's going on, everybody? Welcome to G-Miles World Podcast, and happy holidays as we bring you the Monday Night Football recap of Week 16 in the 2018 NFL season. And I'm going to tell you this right now. John Elway was not happy leaving that Coliseum after the Raiders just embarrassed the Broncos. What we're going to talk about right now is the future for both of these teams. Obviously, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the head coaching position of the Broncos, but this was, to say it was a disappointing season, I guess that's putting it kindly. You get rid of Demaryius Thomas. A lot of things going on. I think what's going on is it's a rebuilding process. So a lot of these teams, like when you go after Case Keenum, a journeyman, that's pretty much what you're saying. Now, I'm pretty sure that they're happy that they didn't spend the money for Kirk Cousins because although Kirk Cousins, he's been okay, he hasn't done everything that the Vikings have asked of him. So it's kind of good when you want to do something, but then somebody else does it and you're like, oh, yo, you did it, bro. It's a joke. But they didn't spend as much for Case Keenum, and you can remember the quote from John Elway saying, we got our quarterback. Now, we know that's a lie, but you got to make the person that's there feel comfortable. It's just like anything else. So going forward with everything else that's going to be happening right now, we have to figure out exactly what the future holds for the Oakland Raiders. Now, this is a pretty decent gift for all of you guys, for your happy holidays, for you Raider fans, because you got to see Chucky exhibit some emotion. You got to see the players played the way that they were supposed to play. It was actually exciting to see, to be honest. Like, I can't really knock the whole situation about how everything transpired. I don't understand exactly what the game plan was, though. I don't know what the game plan of the Broncos was. Like, it didn't make any sense. Anything that was like actually going on in the game, it didn't seem like they didn't protect Case Keenum. The run game, obviously, running back is injured. Like, what do you do here? What's going on? They couldn't really do anything defensively. Obviously, Von Miller is Von Miller. He got his money. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm saying that he didn't play the way he was supposed to play. You can't blame one player, but the team is not the same team it was a couple years ago, and you can't expect him to just be doing whatever. Bradley Chubb, it's a lot of different things that are going on within that Broncos team. I think that they have a decent future. Okay, I just think right now, like we've learned, the quarterback position is the most important. That's one of the things that people really have to understand. Before any other position, you're always going to go after a quarterback. And it sounds cliche, but a lot of these organizations seem like they don't realize that that's the case. And that's what's hilarious to me. Like, how do you go out and you draft these other players and you don't take a chance at the quarterback, and then you go after Case Keenum, and then this is what happens. Now, they weren't in position to really get anybody that was one of the most premier, unless they would have went after Lamar Jackson. Because I know that they got, I think Bradley Chubb, I think he definitely go? Yeah, he went before Lamar Miller. I believe he did. So pretty much what happens is now you find yourself in a situation where you're searching for a quarterback. Now, if we hop off of the Broncos and we go back to the Raiders, Derek Carr, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you're going to get from Derek Carr. If you're a Raiders fan, we saw when he had like that MVP season where it was premier and you thought that he was going to be that dude. And then we saw him come back and just, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things surrounding him. Teammates saying that he was crying after he got hurt. Like, it's a lot of wild things that's going on. And I'm not knocking that, because if I feel pain, I'm gonna cry too. Like, bro, you ain't gonna rip my leg off and I'm gonna be sitting, yo, I'm a man, bro. Like, yo, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of you dudes get paper cuts and be screaming, but you everybody wants to judge Derek Carr. That's not what it's about. What I'm saying is, I don't know about him on the field. He's made a lot of bad decisions just outright on the field, not being the best possible QB he could be. Like, when you compare him to that MVP season. Now, he definitely has potential. In my opinion, he's much better than his brother ever was. But again, I don't know what the Raiders' game plan is. They have a whole lot of draft picks, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what else they're doing over there. So, Chucky has this 10-year, $100 million contract that everybody's going to be talking about forever. Like, that's going to be going on forever. So he's going to have to figure out a way to justify that, because the Raider fans are not having that. And I think, like I said, I think that was the last game that they're going to be playing possibly over there at that Raider Stadium. And there's a lot of history going with it. So they're going to rebuild. I think it's all about the LA scene. It's all about rebuilding the brand of the Oakland Raiders into the LA Raiders or whatever they're going to be in their new stadium, right? So that's what the fanfare was. That's why Chucky's there. I don't think he's really there to win, if that makes any sense. Because if I'm the owner or whatever, like the GM, and this guy comes in and he just implodes the entire team, and then my team, one player on another team has the same amount of sacks that my entire team has, and I got rid of that player, I'm not going to be too happy about that. That's not something that's going to make me, really smile for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to really evaluate what the game plan itself is for the Raiders going forward, because that's ideally what we're going to need. We're going to be able, if you don't figure out a game plan and have something set, like say the Raiders come out early 2019, right? Let's say that the season launches and they start doing this. Like they start playing like this right here. Like they go out there, they're dominating. Chucky's going to look like a genius. A lot of people are very upset with him just generally because he got rid of people that they thought would be staples on the team. Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack, the punter, like people that added some kind of emphasis to the team. Like they gave personality to it. But I think what people don't realize is that it's always been about John Gruden. No matter where he's been, Raiders, the Bucks, like it's always about that face, his whole Chucky demeanor. That's what it's always been about. It really hasn't ever been about anything else. So I don't expect that to change. And I think that it's going to start with Derek Carr. Now, we've heard rumors that, they've gotten to altercations outside of the game. We've seen visible frustration on Chucky's face looking at Derek Carr during games in which the Raiders have lost. So I don't know if it's something that we could guarantee that that's going to be their quarterback. Obviously, the contract, I don't think anybody, well, I can't say anybody. Somebody would probably take a chance on Derek Carr because it seems like he still has something in the tank. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, even though he's nowhere near what he was in the MVP season, it seems like the NFL is like that recyclable league where somebody can, they'll feel like they can make him better. So I don't know if that might be something in the works. Maybe Chucky goes in another direction. I don't know. I just know that based on what I've been seeing this entire year, I don't trust Derek Carr. I don't really trust him. So that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys do. If you're a Raiders fan, maybe you guys trust him. Okay? Now, you can argue about everything else around, the defensive side of the ball, all that stuff. They weren't getting any pressure. They weren't really taking the ball away. Obviously, offensively, they weren't really doing anything as well. So there's so many things surrounding it. So both of these teams are pretty much in the same boat, except for the fact that when you look at the Broncos, they got to figure out what they're doing at the quarterback position, and we don't know if the Raiders are going to still stay with Derek Carr. But other than that, both of the teams, it's like a toss-up. Neither one, I don't know what either one of these teams are doing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And watching this game, the most exciting thing about the game was listening to Booger be an idiot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the commentator, he has no idea what he's talking about, but that's probably the most entertaining part of Monday Night Football. If we're being honest about it, the commentary is very terrible. Like I got to put into my mind, like Shannon Sharp does it. I may have to start just muting the commentary about what these guys are doing. But this game itself, the game itself was not something that was exciting at all. It just kind of gave you a reflection of what the entirety of the season was for both of these teams. And it was very, very disappointing. And that's pretty much it. Both of these teams, really, really weren't anything that, most of us expected, especially with the implosion of what the Raiders became. So now that we know all that, and you guys have my thoughts on that, when you think about the Broncos and you think about John Elway and you think about the historic situation that he was a part of when they won the Super Bowls with Terrell Davis, who I believe was obviously the major factor in winning those Super Bowls, he's going to have to do something to get back to those winning ways. And you're very, very far away from even injured Peyton Manning right now. And it's not to knock Case Keenum, because I think that if Case Keenum stayed with the Vikings, they would have actually had a better record than they have right now with Kirk Cousins. Because that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kirk Cousins is not necessarily an upgrade. You know what I'm saying, bro? Based on everything that has happened. He's not, I'm just being honest about it. I think that sometimes you leave it the way that it was. Similar to what happened with the Ravens in 2000 when they got rid of Trent Dilfer. Like, why you get rid of Trent Dilfer? He's fine. Like, bro, the dude's garbage, but the defense is good enough to keep it going. Why would you change anything? If it's broke, don't fix it. And I think that that's what happened mentally with a lot of the things that people overthink things. And I think that that was a major part of what was going on. So, going forward, I really do believe that the Raiders will probably be better, be better before the Broncos are. It's just something in my mind, because I think Chucky's going to get really lucky with this draft, move some things around, and we might be, we might have to backtrack with some of our words. We have to see, bro. But I really liked what I saw from them. Even though they were beating a bad team, they dominated them completely. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you're back very, very soon during a holiday break. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.